Babes, pedophiles, perverts, and the like. This is the Riles bringing you another audio commentary. This is my second Company of Heroes video, and again it's featuring a game I played on an Automatch 1v1 classic. Of course, it's featuring a game I played against the Wehrmacht faction, of course as the Allies, because as the Allies, that is where I'm most comfortable. Playing through the single player campaign, that's the faction used the most, and so that's the one I'm just going to stick with through my multiplayer experiences. So hitting the K key instead of spacebar to start this replay. Yeah, I know, switching things up. Things not going as they usually are planned, so that's exciting and new. Anyways, so yeah, using the same start I used in the last video, which is this 2-engineer squad. Build a barracks. Barracks is complete. Rifleman squad pops out. Rifleman squad pops out of the rifleman womb, otherwise known as the barracks. So the engineer squad I built is just going to go capture certain resources for me so I can carry out my strategy. Just going to send all my available units right now to start capturing resource points. So because early game you don't really need that much micro. Anything you buy early game is really expensive just because of your lack of resource income. So you won't need to have to worry about building troops from your base for a little while at least. Yeah, so strategy is just use riflemen early and then transition into getting some type of armor, preferably an M8 armored car, and then after that maybe getting some tanks if I retain enough map control. I'm not too worried about my opponent going armor early in the game because Company of Heroes, the Automatch, is good at pairing people up against each other that are of the same skill level. And I can assume that against the skill level I'm playing against right now, that early armor is not really going to be that big of a problem. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. Just going out and capturing more points. Yay, points! Capturing this strategic point so I can link up all these resource nodes to my base. There's like two here that require me to capture the strategic point, so I'm not out of supply. So I might as well get that. Building another rifleman squad, of course. Many rifleman squads will be necessary to carry out the strategy that is not executed very expertly, but you know, I do the best I can. So capturing fuel points and just going south, making sure to capture all the making fuel points a priority because fuel is needed for vehicles and anti-tank guns and bunkers and things like that. Fuel is an important resource, to say the least. So just going to capture all the fuel I can. Running around with my rifleman squad, seeing if there's any engineer squads that are out of place. Seeing if I can catch any cocky engineer squads off guard and just kill them. Because riflemen are superior fighters. At least when compared to pioneer squads of the Wehrmacht faction. So, capturing fuel, capturing victory points. Yay! A little behind in the VP count because my opponent captured a VP earlier than I did. Now this guy's being smart by using cover, and I'm going to lose this engineer squad if I don't run away soon. Run, little man with the SMG. Okay, he dies. So that was dumb on my part because the guy was in cover, and the Volksgrenadiers are actually a really good infantry squad. So I just sort of ran as soon as I saw them. Not necessarily maybe retreated, but if I had reacted a little faster, I could have just you know, clicked my guys away from that instead of having to press the retreat button. And even then I pressed the retreat button a little bit late, so my squad ended up dying anyways. So that's how you don't do things early game. You don't want to lose an engineer squad. Doesn't seem like that big of a hit, but against any expert player that actually might be game breaking for you. Not too worried about it now at this level, of course, because I'm just trying to maneuver my way around the game, trying to figure out the different quirks of Company of Heroes, and so are my opponents, so we're pretty evenly matched in that regard. Running across the bridge, encountering a Volksgrenadier squad, try not to engage them at long range because the Volksgrenadier squads are equipped with Kar 98s, which are a long range weapon. Okay, so now he's got 2 squads, and I should run as soon as I see the second squad reinforcing, but I don't run. I instead just choose to let my guys stay there and die. So that was stupid on my part, but whatever. So taking some early losses and getting butt-fucked early, that is not a strategy I would bank on if you are a newer player, so don't do what I do. Build a triage center here. Usually I want to build a triage center, so within its healing radius, when your troops run back to get reinforced, they usually run to one side of the building, so you want to build your triage center so it's located where it'll heal squads that are also getting reinforced. So that's how you make that setup the most efficient it can be. So as you can see, my squads are waiting, getting reinforced, and they're also getting healed at the same time, so that's the ideal situation. I built another rifle squad to replace the one I just lost because I'm a noob. Now he's capturing my southern VP. This is quite annoying. He's also equipped his Volksgrenadiers with the MP40 upgrade, which makes him superior close-range combat fighters, so he'll plan on using those SMGs aggressively. So right now I'm sort of on my heels, and I need to make something happen, so I'm gonna let the riflemen take damage, and then I'm gonna flank with my other rifleman squad. And these guys are busy capturing, and they're weak, so I'm not too worried about them doing much of anything. So what I do there is I purposely make my rifle squad located here behind the trees take damage, so my other rifle squad can flank around. And mid-range riflemen are a bit superior than Volksgrenadiers, so depends on what they're equipped with, though, I guess. So I beat off that squad. Hahaha, that sounded really perverted. So I beat that squad off my territory. I do not beat him. I do not beat my opponent off. That'd be sort of weird if I was jacking off all my opponents in company of heroes. So I do end up killing and barely surviving. So that was a fight that was not really a victory or a loss. I did as much damage as I took. So that was sort of a stalemate-y fight. I just prevented him from being able to continue capturing in my territory, which is not what I want. See, right now I have a bunch of disconnected territory because he captured that strategic point, which is really smart because if you capturing strategic points and cutting off somebody's supply lines is a lot more effective than trying to fight your way through an enemy and then capture his resource nodes. So just keep that in mind. So here's another fight where the engineers are shown superior to the pioneers. So I just, run up close range, having fun, shooting down the pioneers. Pioneers a 2-man squad, and you have to remember that anytime a guy is killed, they lose half their firepower because it's only a 2-man squad. So engineers got a bit more manpower to rely on. And then what's happening here is I'm engaging these MP40s at long range, or mid to long range, and riflemen are actually superior to the submachine guns at mid range. You want to use your submachine guns really aggressively, and you want to push forward, and you want to try to fuck up your opponent's rifleman cover. So he retreats a little late, and I end up killing that squad. So now we're a little more even in terms of losses early game. I've killed an engineer squad and one of his Volksgrenadiers. So, and on my part, I've also lost a rifleman squad and an engineer squad. So now we're about even in that regard. I'm also planting mines on this bridge because I know the armor likes to cross this bridge, because there's like a victory point, and plus that's the main way how he gets in my territory. Of course, this is a slow path, but that goes through water, and vehicles going through water are slowed down, and infantry that are going through water are really vulnerable to fire. So yeah, what I want to do here is capture that fuel point because this territory is mine, and I might as well do that. I am not now, however, because sometimes I lack the attention required to do things efficiently in this game. So, also noting that I built my supply yard, also upgrading hand grenades because I know there's some infantry, so that'll help me in respects to taking out infantry, the hand grenades. Smart opponents, however, when you throw a hand grenade at them, they'll just retreat or simply move out of the blast radius. Alright, so yeah, these guys push through. I don't think I don't know if my opponent noticed that he took damage from those mines, so placing those mines is really cost efficient. Plus, I also put a machine gun covering this side of the bridge because I got a glimpse of his infantry running this way, so I decided to set up my MG over here. And that did a lot of damage and caused a lot of casualties. So he's also firing a mortar at me, but that's not really affecting me since it's not being that accurate right now. And then I'm flanking from the south because I want to take out that mortar, and I don't want to leave my MG within that radius of fire for long. He also destroyed my mines. Yeah, I don't think he knew my mines were there. I just think he target fired my MG squad, and it just so happened that one of the rounds was so inaccurate that it hit my mines. So whatever, not too bummed about that. Just send my rifleman squad in to throw a grenade, home dizzle some noobs. That's right, noobs, run away from the pain you're experiencing. So healing my MG squad up. That MG squad is going to be important to fend off infantry. And then having these riflemen sit here uselessly. But, well, not so uselessly because I had them build an observation post, but they should be doing something now. They should be, like, capturing a strategic point. You know, going into enemy territory, doing something other than sitting on their asses and smoking tobacco, talking about how many babes they fucked over their lifetime. So, here's my mortar pool. Building it, of course. It's almost halfway complete. I don't know if that's an important note. Probably not. So, just capturing, spreading out, doing what I always do. So, this guy has MP40s and Volks Grenadier squad, so that's actually going to wreak lots of havoc. So, I just throw a grenade, retreat. I already took many losses there in that fight, so I might as well try to damage him as much as possible before retreating. I'm now bringing up my MG because this guy is bringing up a MP40 plus a Volks Grenadier squad, so I might as well put this MG to cover the road. I do not want him recapturing this victory point. And he built a bunker on the side of the map. It's not very well placed because it doesn't cover the fuel point. As you can see, the fuel point is barely out of range, so I can actually capture it if I position my engineers on the right side of. If I position my engineers on the left side of the fuel point, then I'm able to capture it without being harassed by that MG. So here's another fight that comes up. Just slowly moving my MG up. You want to be careful with your MGs. They're really vulnerable if they don't have the MG set up. So now I've got two squads pounding on this MP40 squad and this already weak Volks Grenadier squad. Plus, I'm gonna have a now I've got this machine gun, and for some reason this guy doesn't realize that he could probably flank the machine gun, but instead runs into a death alley. A quarter of death is what he runs into, and I end up annihilating a lot of infantry. So I don't know if that was a bit of a mistake on his part, probably, but he could have flanked my MG. He didn't though, and suffered lots of casualties as a result, so eventually I'll be building an armored car out of this thing, I do believe.